So, if you're an aspiring software engineer, you already know that mastering data structures and algorithms, DSA, is a must. But before you even write a single line of code, there's this huge decision you have to make, one that pretty much sets the stage for everything that comes next.
And that question is, which programming language should I actually use for all this? It's a question that stops so many people dead in their tracks before they even begin. So today, we are going to give you a clear, no-nonsense answer.
Because you see, this isn't just about what you prefer. This is your first real strategic career choice. The language you pick has a direct impact on your goals, whether that's, say, passing a coding interview in the next 3 months or becoming a champion in competitive programming. So let's break down the top contenders.
All right, first up, we've got Python. And let's be honest, it's the undisputed favorite when it comes to interviews. If your main goal is to get a job and get it fast, you're going to want to listen closely to this part.
I absolutely love this quote, executable pseudocode. It just perfectly captures Python's whole deal. The syntax is so clean, so simple, that your code almost reads like plain English. And what that means is you spend way less time fighting with the language and more time actually thinking about the problem.
And this right here, this is the perfect example. Look at that. To reverse a list in Python, you just write r//1. That's it, one line. In a bunch of other languages, that's a whole loop you have to write out. When you've only got 45 minutes in an interview, that kind of speed is basically a superpower.
So, here's the big trade-off. The huge pro is that you can write code incredibly fast, which is just critical when the clock is ticking. But the con? Well, Python hides a lot of the low-level details. It kind of handles all the memory stuff for you, which can make some data structures feel a little bit like, well, like magic.
So the bottom line for Python is this. Its biggest strength is its low cognitive load. You get to focus 100% on the algorithm, not the syntax. The downside is that since it hides things like pointers, it can be a bit tricky to really understand how something like a linked list works under the hood. It is without a doubt the best choice for interviews, for beginners, or for anyone who's short on time.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about C++, the absolute king of performance. If Python is all about the speed of writing code, C++ is all about the speed of running code. This is the weapon of choice for competitive programming, where literally every millisecond counts. Its biggest pro is just raw, blistering speed. This is what helps you avoid those dreaded time limit exceeded errors in contests. But all that power comes with a price. The huge con is manual memory management. You have to deal with pointers and memory allocation yourself, which, trust me, has a super steep learning curve and makes it really easy to create bugs.
But, there's an upside to that complexity. C++ forces you to understand exactly how your data is laid out in memory. The downside is that its syntax is pretty verbose and complex, which can be a real pain in a timed interview. That's why its sweet spot is really competitive programming and any kind of low-level systems work.
And that brings us to our third main option, Java, the reliable enterprise standard. If C++ is a fine-tuned race car and Python is a zippy little city bike, then Java is the big, powerful, dependable truck that builds the backbone of almost every major tech company out there.
Oh yeah, anyone who's ever written a line of Java knows this one. That famous public static void main. It's the perfect example of what people call boilerplate code. All this ceremony you have to write just to get a simple "Hello World" to run. It's Java's verbosity on full display.
And this really gets to the core trade-off with Java. The major pro is that learning it gives you skills that are directly transferable to a ton of back-end jobs at places like Amazon or Google. The con? All that boilerplate can be a real headache when you're trying to quickly sketch out a solution on a whiteboard.
So to sum up Java, its strict, static typing is a massive pro. The compiler basically finds your mistakes for you before you even run the code. But that same strictness is what leads to the verbosity, which can be a real disadvantage in a timed interview. It's the perfect choice if your career goal is to become a back-end engineer or an Android developer.
Okay, so we've met the big three. Now it's time for the moment of truth. This next part is where you're going to match your personal goal to a specific language. Honestly, this is the most important part of this whole explainer. Let's walk through this step by step. If your goal is, I need to pass interviews and I need to do it in the next few months, the answer is Python. Period. It has the least friction and you can write code the fastest. If you're drawn to that intense world of competitive programming, then you absolutely need the execution speed of C++. If your dream is to be a back-end engineer at a big tech company, Java is your ticket.
simply because the industry demand is huge. And finally, and listen up, because this might be the most important advice of all. If you already know a language really well, just stick with it. Your fluency in that language is a much bigger advantage than any small feature another language might have.
Now I know what you're thinking. Hey, what about JavaScript or C or Go? And look, they're all popular great languages, but for the specific task of learning and interviewing with DSA, each one comes with some pretty big warnings.
Let me give you the quick rundown. You can use JavaScript, for sure, especially for front-end roles, but you'll often have to build things like a heap from scratch in an interview, which is a pain. C is almost never used because its standard library is missing essentials like hash maps, which just makes easy problems hard. And Go, while it's an amazing language, can often be way more verbose for simple algorithm tasks.
And this all brings us back to the single most important point I can make. Don't switch languages unless you absolutely have to. Seriously. Your ability to think through a problem and write a solution fluently in a language you already know is so much more valuable than trying to learn a perfect new language from scratch.
So there you have it. You've got the framework, you know the trade-offs, and you have a clear recommendation based on your goals. Your path forward should be crystal clear now. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?